You're listening to Bizarre Buffet, a podcast of all-you-can-eat weird. I'm your host, Mark Torriello.
I'm Jen Wilson.
And I'm Mark Bluestein.
There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
When we first went in, one of the people said, "Who are you?" And Tex said, "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business."
Hello, everyone. We're fucking back.
Oh my God,
Hi.
we're so back. Hi, it's me, Gene Simmons from the band Kiss. How are you?
And I am Gene Simmons' tongue.
Oh, that's hot.
Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
sit on
I
that.
just want to let my tongue know that I would not have a career without you.
I should be worth more than you.
I think you are.
human.
I honestly do. I think if you look up your net worth, it's higher than mine.
I would hope so.
I would too.
Well, I'm one of the platform boots and the makeup artist.
Okay.
So I created a vision.
Baby.
I don't think that that's Kiss.
I don't know anything from Kiss.
And me
I
neither.
want you to show me the way.
No, that is definitely not
That's
Kiss.
Peter Frampton, I think, actually.
Oh.
It doesn't matter.
I feel like I'm on VH1.
Yeah, we are. Bands reunited.
Well, anyways, we're reunited.
Hi,
we
Anal
We
Lingus.
are.
We had a plethora of shit gone down this year.
We sure did.
Yeah.
We are coming back.
We're back.
We're
Yeah,
back.
we're
and
back.
we're recording content.
Yeah.
Being grown up sucks.
Yeah, it
It
does.
does. It really does.
Totally
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, getting
2023 has just not been kind to any of us.
2023
No,
can
it hasn't.
fucking fuck off already.
Well, a few weeks ago, like, I made a Instagram post on Bizarre Buffet's Instagram just explaining, like, you know, what's going on in our world and why it's taking us forever to make content right now. And I said that 2023 has been doing us dirty.
They
I
have
know.
been.
Yeah.
All right, so every time we do an episode, we start with like a question.
We do.
We do.
And
We always do.
This is a topic that I picked, so I'll start the question.
My underwear are purple. No, they're not. I thought that was going to be a question.
I like you in red.
Oh my God, is red a good color?
Sexy color.
Thank you.
It's the
It's the
devil's
devil's.
color.
Oh,
I don't know any of what they're talking about.
I don't know.
So,
It's okay. I don't
okay.
either, really. So,
So
it's fine.
here is my question for you guys.
Okay, Barbara Walters.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
What was the worst outdoor experience of your life?
Oh God.
I feel like I mentioned two of them already. Like in
Probably.
previous
We have
episodes.
almost 100 episodes,
Yeah.
so most likely. But
Like for me,
go
like the
for
one
it.
that's always sticks out with me is the episode that you did on the Mattawan shark.
Yep.
Where
Mattawan
I
shark
got
attack.
like pulled out into the ocean and had to be rescued by lifeguards.
Oh my God, that's right. The
Literally.
lifeguard came for you.
Literally.
That was like way over a decade ago, and I still won't go in the Jersey Shore water.
I don't fucking blame you.
Won't
I
do
don't,
it.
I don't blame you at all. I'm very scared of bodies of water, like all of them. Lake,
It's like that undertow is
River.
just so scary.
it is.
sucks you right up.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Jen? You have a great memory because I remember telling the story about being on like a surfboard and drifting out with my killer niece. Well, in prison. I don't know her PO box, so don't send her mail. She's a murderer.
No, you can go on friendaprisoner.com if you'd like.
You could probably find her there. Absolutely. Yeah.
Did we just make reference to like 5 previous?
I think we did.
We're good at
Oh
like
my
making these
God.
episode remixes.
We are.
We did an episode for like writeaprisoner.com.
We did.
Yeah.
Writeaprisoner.com. My niece
Is a killer.
I'm related to a killer. My niece is a killer. I don't remember the title.
The Mattawan shark.
Mattawan shark. Holy shit.
All right.
There's a lot out there for
So
you.
yeah, that would probably be my horrible
Yeah. Well, I remember once.
outdoor experience.
I have like a different one that I don't think I mentioned, but I remember once, and this kind of connects to my I'm related to a killer topic. So I went paintballing once when I was really young with my niece, the killer, and with
Killer
like
niece.
hashtag killer niece. Do you have one? Let us know in the comments on Instagram and YouTube. But we went paintballing once, and I remember I was hit in the back of the neck with a paintball, and it hurt so bad, and I was just like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
That's pretty
Oh yeah,
annoying.
that was a pretty terrible one. Yeah.
I'm glad that you're okay.
Thank you. Personal injury attorneys, please reach out to me at Leah Remini's Nails, like the actress, at Leah Remini's Nails, like Jen's nails. There we go, for reference, on Instagram. And tell me if I have a suit.
I like the color.
Right? It's like an eggplant, like
That's
a
beautiful.
deep purple.
Eggplant.
Leah Remini at Jennifer Wilson is coming for your gig, bitch.
Actually, I just deactivated it for a while.
Oh, no. Did you?
I just need like a little break. You
I
know?
respect that. I do.
We understand.
I know a lot of people who do that for, like, you know, listen, mental health and social media.
yeah.
It's very important to separate it sometimes. You're like, you know, I'm a little overwhelmed by this because it's not doing any harm.
No.
Why not deactivate it? I've deleted my Facebook before, and then Mark Zuckerberg told me that I couldn't. And he was like,
Yes, she did.
yeah, she did. She told me. She sent me an alert, and she was like, we'll keep it for like 9 years. And then, yeah. Anyway.
You want to hear one of my worst outdoor
Of course.
experiences? Believe it or not, I used to be a Boy Scout. But I think we talked
I
about
think there's
that
like
already.
20 episodes that might mention it.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned.
I used to be a Boy Scout. And as you know, like, there was very, like...
If you reference any other episode, Mark has talked about being a Boy Scout.
Like, I grew up in a dangerous neighborhood.
He was
episode that we talked about the Woodpine Derby.
The Woodbine Derby.
Pinewood.
Oh, God.
We had a lot to drink tonight.
We did.
We did.
So we're trying to live our
actually,
best.
no, I didn't. They did.
Yeah, exactly.
did.
Yeah, Mark and I did.
So, I guess for me, like, one of my worst outdoors experiences came from when I was a Boy Scout. So we used to have to go on these camping trips in the woods, and you would have to, like, make your own tent and eat hot dogs and crap.
Was that part of the curriculum?
I don't even remember.
Eat hot dogs.
I was just...
That would be kind of questionable now in the Boy Scout world.
They would be like, this is bad.
Yeah,
No.
I just
No,
thought that dads looked hot
Yeah.
when they wore like the uniform.
Reference episode 1
So
through 96 to hear Mark say the same thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But so I got stuck. So
He's
like,
consistent.
I'm consistent, and I was very like unpopular. I didn't have any like friends in the Boy Scouts because I was allowed to watch rated R movies.
We still don't have any friends in the Boy Scouts.
And I was gay as fuck. So,
Yeah.
like, no one really liked me, but I didn't really care because I was
Yeah.
after their dads.
Exactly.
So, I digress. So,
If you wonder, former Boy Scouts, if you wonder where your fathers went, they went with Mark Torriello.
No, they didn't because I tried.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about
God.
this outdoor nightmare. So
Yeah,
we did
let's
this
do it.
camping trip, and it was like the theme of it was canoes. So we had to go in a canoe. All the boys went in the canoes with their friends, and I got stuck with like the head of the Boy Scout troop.
Okay.
It's called a Cub Master or Scout
It's
Master.
very porno.
It's really
Yeah, very porno.
But like I didn't think the scout.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was hot. So I got stuck with like the one I didn't want to be stuck with.
All
So he
right.
was like the head of the Boy Scouts, the
Okay.
Scout Master. He's one of the dads. So we were on the canoe. He was in the front. I was in the back of the canoe, and we ended up getting lost in the Pine Barrens.
Oh God.
And our canoe tipped over in the water. He had an old-fashioned cell phone. The cell phone got ruined in the water, and we were lost, and it got like dark out, and it was a fucking nightmare. And he was screaming and yelling and screaming
Yelling, yeah.
at me, saying it was my fault that the canoe tipped over.
Okay.
And it was annoying. So that was probably my worst outdoor experience in my life.
That probably is the worst one out of the fucking three of us.
I don't even remember what my story was,
I
but I
know.
bet it was.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Me too.
Jen and I are great litigators. We're like, I agree with that. I agree as well.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about the outdoors, I guess we'll
Love it.
talk about the topic. In the past, Jen did a really good topic, and it was one of my favorite
Which one?
unsolved mysteries of all time, and it was about Diet Lob's past.
Oh my God, what a throwback.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was a fantastic episode.
That was one.
Loved it.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Like it really is. That was a great fucking episode. Yeah.
You did it justice.
You really
You did
did.
a great job.
I don't think there's another podcast that would be as informative and fun as that one was about that topic.
guys.
Yeah, of course. It's the truth.
This is kind of in the same spirit, and this topic, it's called the Corvina Group, also known as the Khamar Daban incident.
That's a mouthful.
Now, I'm going to say this. This makes Dyatlov's Pass look like fucking Chuck E. Cheese.
No.
Wow. Okay.
And Dyatlov Pass
that was intense.
is fucking intense as fuck. There were like rips in tents and people in trees and bears and tornadoes and twisters.
Body parts and everything.
Oh my god. So what could be worse than that?
Clothing off.
Yeah.
Yup.
Seamstresses evaluating tents.
Yep.
So let's get into this.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just say the Korovina group was a group of hikers. It was 7 hikers total. So the head of the group, her name was Ludmila Korovina. She was the leader. She was 41 years old. The next person was Alexander Sacha Krysen, or Krisen. They were 23 years old. The next person was Tatiana Filipenko, 24 years old. Denis Shvakin, 19 years old. Valentina Utachenko, who was 17. Victoria Zelazova, 16 years old. And then finally, Timur Bapanov, 15 years old. So this story, it starts in August of 1993. And
Ooh, like more recent.
Yeah.
for me, I always pick these old ass things.
I was 3 years old.
I
Like,
was
no,
5.
because you like this
6.
is like I was expecting you to say like the 1700s.
I know,
No,
really.
this
Okay.
is
No, I
more
was
recent
too.
time. Yep.
Where?
Wait, what was your question?
Where?
Oh, Russia.
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 Oh, Russia. Why do you have to be so problematic and have so many great stories?
I know Russians have a lot of good stories. Anatoly.
Anatoly Movskin.
Dyatlov's Pass.
Yeah. I feel like we have 90,000. Tattoo.
Cannibal Island.
Cannibal Island.
Tattoo. They were not even
Tattoo. We didn't
lesbians.
do
They
an
were
episode
fake
about them,
lesbians, and
but
I'm angry.
there's a lot of references to Tattoo.
This shit went down in August of 1993. 41-year-old Ludmila Korovina, who was like the leader of the group, she was a well-known, like experienced hiking instructor and diehard survivalist.
Oh.
And she was the one to lead this hiking trip to Khamar Daban, which is in a region of Buryatia.
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 That's how we say it in Jersey.
But it's part of Siberia in Russia.
Siberia. Very
So
cold.
all of our Russians listening, you know where it is. I don't.
I don't think we have many Russian listeners,
have-
but
We have one Russian.
Russian listeners by association, hello. Nostrovia.
Hello.
I like vodka.
We do. So basically, this area, it had rugged scenery. It really made it a very popular tourist hiking spot. It's considered more of like an intermediate area for hikers. So it's not really for beginners, but it's not really hard enough for it to be like expert level, like
Okay.
you're climbing like Mount Everest.
Right.
It was also the summer season, which made that area safer to hike.
Oh.
So this was in the summer.
Yeah. So Ludmila was known for being a mentor to many, many people with almost this sort of like tough love approach.
Okay.
But all of her students, she said, she truly helped try to make the best of themselves and develop their hiking skills
Okay.
and like personal skills. So she was like a good lady. Now, before the trip, she trained her students in preparation, though some people argue in later times that her training was too severe.
Oh, she was a bit of a hard ass.
She was a bit of a hard ass, but all of her students said that she truly helped them make the best of themselves and really develop their hiking skills. So she was like a hard ass, but like with a heart.
With a heart, yeah. That's
I
like
love
me.
that. Yeah.
I'm like that as a director. I'm a hard ass, but like I love them.
Well, you are a very well-educated woman in the performing arts, as you should be.
Oh, thank you.
And know your direction and to tell these bitches what to do. The end. Period.
Before this hiking trip,
Yeah.
she trained her students, you know, to prepare for everything.
Yeah.
The first of the 6 And the closest to Ludmilla was 23-year-old Alexander Krysen, who I mentioned earlier. So
Correct.
they were very close.
Okay.
Now, Ludmilla had known him for most of his life and almost considered him to be like a son to her. Now, on August 2nd, 1993, the 7 hikers arrived to their mountain range.
Oh boy.
As far as the weather conditions, it was really ideal for hiking. It was clear and sunny. That's what makes this weird, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because in Dyatlov's Pass, there was like a blizzard.
Dark and broody.
A potential avalanche. No one really knows.
Yeah. And this one is bright and sunny.
This is bright and sunny.
And I always say, what bad things could happen when it's bright and sunny?
A lot of things.
Yeah,
a lot if
apparently
you're
so.
in this hiking group.
In Russia.
Simultaneously, while they were hiking, there was another hiking group as well in the same area, and they were scheduled to meet up during this hike and finish the rest of the hike together.
Now, how long was the hike supposed to last? Do you know?
I don't think it was going to be long. I would say no more than 3 days.
Okay, so it was like a handful of days, because I think Dyatlov's Pass was like longer.
Dyatlov's Pass was like a long ass hike.
Yeah.
Probably like a year excursion because they had like a dog sled and everything
They had
else,
to,
or
but they
whatever.
had to actually hike to get to the area where they were hiking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had to like take a train and like all these
Yeah.
different modes of transportation.
Yeah,
So-
this was the 90s when things were supposed to have been more advanced.
Yeah.
Correct. This other hiking group, oddly enough, was being led by Ludmilla's daughter, and her daughter's name was Natalia. They were slated to cross paths on the 5th of August and complete the descent of the hike together. So the first 2 days of the hike, everything was perfect.
Yeah.
Normal. Now on August 4th, as they began to descend, the weather quickly changed as they were faced with a monsoon.
Monsoon
A monsoon.
season.
Wow.
Now, due to the rain, the hikers' supplies and bags were soaked, and it added a lot of weight to their backs.
Oh shit.
So you're carrying all this soaking wet luggage, or I don't want to say luggage, but like
Well,
hiking
yeah.
shit.
Hiking gear.
Yeah, hiking gear.
It's essentially luggage of sorts because it's like these are the things you need to take with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of made them all really exhausted. From this exhaustion, Ludmilla, the head of the group, like the motherly figure, decided, okay, it's time for us to camp out. And for some bizarre reason, no one really knows why, but she chose like this exposed area that had no rocks, no trees, no shelter. And this is during a monsoon.
What the fuck?
This is really unusual considering the fact that there was tree-covered locations very close to this area that would have been more idyllic for shelter during a
Right.
monsoon. And from this monsoon, the group was unable to build a fire that night, but they weren't like shaken. You know, they had enough experience and they were prepared for anything. So the next morning, they made a fire, they had breakfast, and they planned on meeting up with Natalia, who was the leader of the other hiking group.
So the daughter.
The daughter.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were supposed to like meet up. Now later that day, Natalia and her group made it to the meeting spot. But her mother with the hiking group never showed up.
Oh shit.
So they're like, oh boy. Now eventually that group moved on, but they weren't worried. They figured, okay, you know what, there's a lot of bad weather. Maybe the Ludmilla's hiking group was set back.
Okay.
Maybe they had to turn around.
Yeah,
Like, you don't
things
know.
like that.
Yeah.
So now we're going to fast forward to 10 days later. So it's August 10th, and there's a random group of kayakers that are paddling down the river, and they notice something weird in the tree line at the base of the Khamar Daban mountains.
Khamar Daban.
Khamar Daban. So at the base of the mountains, they found a lone girl standing there and just staring at them in a catatonic state.
What the fuck?
When they approached her, they found that she was covered in blood. She became hysterical, trying to explain what happened. but was really unable to identify herself
Oh, shit.
or her hikers. And eventually she was able to say, I am Valentina Udachenko. She said that she was hiking with her friends for a few days. That's all she could remember.
Wow.
They took her to the nearest police station where a report was filed, but it wasn't until years later that she was able to share what actually happened.
Oh, God. How old was she?
She was in her teens,
Oh, my God.
so she was incredibly young.
Udachenko.
Wow.
So, what do you guys think happened, real quick?
And this girl was just found randomly?
She was part of the original hiking.
So when did
Group of 7
when
people.
did the monsoon happen? On what day? Was it day 2?
August 4th was when the monsoon happened, and August 10th is when she was found at the base of the mountain.
I'm gonna say something with the weather, like killed them all out,
Okay, you think it was the weather? What do
like
you
trees and shit.
I mean, monsoons are pretty serious.
They're like winds, heavy winds.
Yeah. I don't have a real good
I feel like
explanation.
it might be Mother Nature's fault.
Yeah. Once again.
All right. So
Yeah.
we both think it's like nature related.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't see
What else it
what
could
else
be.
it could be because it's fucking ridiculous.
Right.
Well, let me tell you what happened.
Oh,
'cause
God.
This shit is fucking bizarre, and it's scary.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
So what happened? Okay, the morning they were supposed to meet that secondary hiking group, just moments before they were eating their breakfast, something gruesome and unexpected happened.
Oh shit, something aside from the monsoon?
Yeah. So first, Sasha, who was part of the hiking group, Sasha was in the back of the group upon the hike and all of a sudden began screaming. Everyone in the hiking group, you know, the remaining 6 people, turned around to see what was going on, and he was bleeding from his eyes and ears and foaming at the mouth
What?
Yup.
Rabid.
Stop.
out of nowhere.
Oh my God, rabies.
Yep, he fell to the ground and started to convulse. Now, Ludmilla, who is the leader of the group, ran to his aid and ordered that the rest of the group continue so they could find help. And Ludmilla would remain, and she was super distraught and trying to help Sasha gain consciousness. Now, as the group moved forward, not even minutes later, they heard Ludmilla screaming and crying out, who stayed behind.
So the person who was helping.
Yes, who was the leader of the group.
Was she starting
my
to bleed out
God.
the eyes and
Basically, yeah, they turned around.
Oh.
They turned around immediately. They ran back to see Ludmilla suffering the same symptoms as Sasha.
fuck?
And now Sasha lay dead on the ground, and seconds later, she collapsed
And
on
died
top of
too?
Sasha.
Oh
So
my
now
God.
2 out of the 7 are already dead.
Oh shit.
Now, Tatiana, who was the first hiker in the group, she was the first one to approach the now deceased Ludmilla and Sasha.
Okay.
Right after Tatiana got to their
She
corpses,
started doing the same. It must be
Yep.
something in contact, like some sort of weird contact thing.
it potentially could be. Because when Tatiana got there, she collapsed right next to them.
Oh boy.
And when she collapsed, she was grabbing and scratching her throat as if she couldn't breathe.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
And she slowly crawled over to a nearby rock and started to bash her head
What?
over and over again. And every time she would bash her head, she would hit her head harder and harder and harder
Stop.
until her body finally stopped.
My
So
God.
now, 3 out of 7
Why was she bashing her
affected.
head?
We don't know. There was
now
something
there's
crazy
4
going
people
on.
alive.
So now there's 4 left, okay? So following behind Tatiana was now Victoria and Timur, who were basically running toward all of this because they're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we have to help our friends. They didn't make it either. because upon running over, they both collapsed and experienced the same symptoms of bleeding and convulsing.
Oh my God.
And they too began grabbing their throats, they were ripping their clothes, and eventually they died too.
What the fuck?
So now you have Dennis and Valentina, the two other group members. One of them ended up running behind a rock as all this was happening. It didn't take long for Dennis to drop on the ground and die from convulsions out of nowhere. So
What
now
the fuck is going on in this goddamn
so it's like they're all
place?
dropping rapidly like flies. Now the only one left alive is Valentina. Valentina eventually runs down the mountain and gets as far away from this site as possible. She only had a tent and clothes on her back for supplies.
Right.
A tent and clothes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she had like all like the makings of the tent and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So she ends up, she's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So she
Yeah.
runs down the mountain. So
Holy
she's like,
shit.
something's going on. So once she got far enough away, Valentina ended up setting up her tent under a tree for the night and fell asleep with all of these dead bodies within like, you know,
Oh my god.
a few minutes reach.
Yeah.
So she needed to rest and just figure out what the hell's going on. So when she woke up, she immediately knew she needs more supplies because she's in the wilderness and she's
Right.
got to survive. That being said, she knew she would have to return back to the site of her dead friends to retrieve these supplies. She trekked back up the mountain, taking all the items that she needed from their dead bodies.
I would be
and
scared to go
left.
back there.
I would too.
Me too.
I would
I'd be
absolutely.
like, fuck no, I'm gonna drop dead. I would rather like go with the supplies on my back than go back and get
I agree.
supplies off the infected.
Yeah.
I fucking agree. It's like you just witness all these people do these bizarre things,
Yeah.
like banging their heads against rocks and bleeding from the eyes. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, but I don't want your fucking sleeping bags. I don't want your
No.
beans. I don't want your
Yeah.
fucking
None of
crackers.
it.
Nothing.
No.
Because who knows what it is that's making this shit happen.
Correct. I mean, maybe it's some sort of virus or something that they ate, or who fucking knows?
Yeah.
You
But
know?
clearly it was something like airborne that like you could just get from like being within
It seems
of people.
It seems like it.
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
So once she got like all the supplies she needed, she found power lines like in the woods and she decided to follow them for 4 days. And when she got to the end,
4 days.
4 days. And when she got to the end, it led her to a dead end, which was a deserted village.
A deserted
A
village.
deserted village.
So 4 days of travel on foot
a
with your
deserted-
tent and your bullshit, whatever,
for nothing.
for nothing.
Yep. But shortly after that, that was when she was found. Now, it wasn't until August 24th, 20 days later, that an official search was conducted for the hikers.
Okay.
Since Valentina was still in shock, she couldn't really recount the events, and it took helicopters 2 days to locate the other 6 hikers in her
That were
group.
dead.
They were all dead.
She was the only survivor.
Only survivor.
Holy shit.
And upon the autopsy,
She poisoned them.
well, who knows? I mean, there's a plethora of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But upon the autopsies, it was concluded that hypothermia, and I'm putting that in air quotes, was the cause of death. But hypothermia was not the cause of death for Ludmilla, the head of the group. She suffered from a heart attack, allegedly.
What the fuck?
So
I
is
feel like this
going
is some
on?
weird cover up to like
Yep.
some
This-
weird chemical toxic shit happening. Is that what it was?
That's, I mean, no one knows, but that is one of the theories.
It's Dyatlov Pass
it's
Part
It's
2.
definitely some fucking cover up
Yep.
for some more.
Ask Putin.
Yeah, ask Putin.
Hashtag Ask Putin.
Exactly.
We need to start that.
So, however, many people argue that they didn't die from hypothermia,
Oh.
like us,
Yeah.
because
fuck.
they had dry clothing inside of their bags, and the conditions of the weather and the environment of that time were not that bad.
Right.
I don't know. 1993, you couldn't have been that fucking stupid.
Correct.
I don't see an excuse.
Correct. And also another thing too to argue is that these campers or these hikers, they were well fed and they had ample amount of food to continue to survive their journey,
Yeah.
which is like a big,
Right.
arguing fact. So there's a handful of theories I'm just going to throw out. I'm not going to get into a deep dive with the theories, but I'm just going to present them.
Okay, let's hear them.
guys and to our
Yes. Oh, this
listeners.
is what we love.
This is why
So
we come
are you
to Bizarre-
guys ready?
That's why we come to Bizarre Buffet. That's why we
That's
are
why
buff-
we do come
do
to.
buffet.
We do come here though.
Come here to do this for you.
Even though we're hosting it, we do come here with everybody else who listens because we're all interested.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I get it.
And a lot of people like to say this is like Diet Lab's Past Part 2.
I believe it.
And I feel
It
like,
kind of is, yeah.
Yeah, the continuation.
So
the
here-
remix.
Here's some theories to
Tell us.
send your way. One of the theories is that it was aliens or the Yeti.
Oh my God! Once again,
course.
I love fast.
Of course.
Yeah.
As Jen brought to us before with the Yeti,
Bless you.
the
Thank you.
Yeti literature that was found in the tent, right?
Yes.
The other theory, like I said, hypothermia.
Okay.
I don't buy that
No.
Nope.
at all.
It's
Not at all.
1993.
It's
If you don't
1993.
know how to not get hypothermia,
Yeah.
you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And like they said, their clothing wasn't like drenched or so.
Right.
Yeah.
The third one, food poisoning.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
How does food? No, I
But-
don't believe it.
But here's,
No,
I don't believe it either.
I don't think food poisoning would make you bang your head against a rock.
No,
No.
but also like, though you could get food poisoning, I don't think it would happen that fast and simultaneously,
Yeah.
Well,
like
if-
everyone
if-
all at once. This
If they
isn't
all
Bridesmaids.
ate the same thing, then yes. But
Yeah.
if what Valentina is saying is the truth, I don't think it would be possible for all of them to have the same thing all at once.
I agree. Another theory
Mm-hmm.
is that they had rabies.
That sounds accurate, but rabies would require all of them getting bitten.
Get bit by each other.
Yeah.
Correct. And again, the simultaneous reactions that they all had at the same time.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be something that you would experience as a group if you had rabies
Right.
or food poisoning.
Yeah.
The other theories is that Valentina did it. And
Well,
I think there's potential for that one. However, there's really no good motive
As to why
for
she
her
would do
to
something
do
like that.
how old was she again?
She was probably 17 years old.
So she was the youngest, right?
No, she was like, there was like a 16 and a 15-year-old as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she was one of the younger, less experienced hikers in the
Okay.
group. But that's just another theory. I would love to know more about that concept and how people think
That
Valentina did it.
Yeah, that would be interesting to explore some more of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be. Because I'm also, I'm not a person who's quick to blame somebody who looks like the obvious person. I think that's a very toxic stance to take.
Correct.
But it's normally the most exciting one to go
It is.
towards. I'm sorry, Valentina.
The other one is the Russian government conspiracy.
I believe that. I believe that one.
And
Yeah,
it could
it's
be
probably
like
most plausible.
it could be maybe they saw or came across something that they shouldn't have.
Now, here's my question: were the bodies actually found?
They were found.
And did they notice like gunshots or?
No, they did not notice things like that. But the families, from the research that I've done, they were not really allowed to see the bodies.
That in itself
red
is a red
flag
flag.
right
Yep,
there.
you took the words out of my mouth. Absolutely. Red
And
flag there.
I do know that many, many years later, in probably like the mid 2000s, Valentina appeared on public television in Russia on a TV show, like a talk show. And it was the first time she publicly ever spoke about her experience. So all of this information didn't come to surface until like the mid 2000s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of
From 93.
from
Yeah.
1993.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that doesn't really make sense with the government conspiracy, because this was a tourist attraction.
Right.
Yeah.
Thousands of people came from all over the world or the country to hike in these mountains. So it doesn't make sense that the government would do some super secretive stuff where there is a high level of tourism.
Yeah.
Not in the 90s.
Yeah. The last two are the ones that have like the most weight, in my opinion.
Okay.
This one is about a hole in the ozone due to the heavy unexpected rain from that monsoon. So from that monsoon, it could have poked a hole in the ozone, and it could have been right over the hikers,
Okay.
creating issues. But this is the one that I really believe is the correct one.
Yeah, because that sounds a little too, like, convenient.
Yeah.
A little too...
It's very specific.
A little too sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last one, and the one that I believe is the correct one, is have you guys ever heard of something called Novichok?
I think so.
Maybe.
So Novichok, it's basically like a group of nerve agents used in chemical weapons, and it's considered to be a weapon of mass destruction. Now, in this area, there was a Novichok Research Institute, which was to stop research and production of Novichok in 1993, the same year that all this happened. So it's possible that some of this Novichok shit got out,
Yeah.
and the group of hikers somehow managed to encounter this.
You know...
Hence all of this
That's
chaos.
also very believable too, but I
Yeah.
still believe the
Yeah.
government.
I know. Oh, God. You know, they usually say that the most simple explanation is generally the correct one.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like the most plausible
It
theory
is.
so far.
But I still blame the government.
But yes, but to Jen's point, it's fucking Russia. It's come on, look at present day, 2020 fucking three, bitch.
yeah, come on, guys.
Like, let's
wake up.
have a fucking moment
Even
here.
their lesbians aren't lesbians.
Exactly.
They lied.
Naste Megonia tattoo.
lied.
Yeah.
So to end this,
So come on.
so those are the theories. That's the story. There's a lot of, if you want to do a deeper dive on this, you guys absolutely
Bleeding
can.
from the eyes.
But to me, what I thought was the most bizarre was the head bashing on the rock.
yeah.
That spooked me. Like a horse.
Like, imagine like being witness to that. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy town.
That is crazy.
And like I said, I found this story to be incredibly eerie, and it does get compared to my absolute favorite unsolved mystery, which is Diet Lab's Past.
Yes.
And coincidentally,
Reference our episode from Jen Wilson.
And coincidentally, both stories have these unsettling similarities.
They do.
And they're from the same region or the same area. And from everything, no theory really fits into this 100%, making
Right.
both of these
Just like
stories
yeah.
impossible to solve.
Yeah. They both have very unexplainable things.
Exactly.
And, I think if you reference like true crime-ish stories, like it's bizarre that there's one person left to tell the tale. And I think, Valentina, I'm talking to you. I think you know things. I think you're not sharing what you know. And I think you should. But first, move out of Russia.
Well,
because there's a lot of
also,
problems there right now
Just throwing
anyway.
this your way. Ludmilla, the motherly figure, the older one that led
Yeah.
the group, her daughter was not allowed to identify the body.
There you go.
So just throwing that out
Something
there.
odd was going on there.
Something funky.
There were secretive things. This is what I'm gonna say. End of story. Okay, it wasn't supernatural. It wasn't aliens. This is good old fashioned man-made something. And there's one person remaining who is allowed to live and tell the tale, and she knows things that she's never gonna share. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. What they are, we don't know. And that's why this makes a great Bizarre
That was a
Buffet
really good
topic.
episode,
I
Mark.
loved
Thank
it.
you.
I loved
I
it.
loved it a lot.
I absolutely did. And I mean, you know, in the meantime, if you want to fund our hiking excursion into
Absolutely.
places where we might get toxic chemicals pumped into our brains and bash our heads against rocks, you can start by funding that process at patreon.com/bizarrebuffet. You can follow us at Bizarre Buffet on Instagram and Facebook and bizarrebuffet.com. And I guess with that being said, I am Mickey Rourke.
And I am the Russian government.
I'm Valentina because I will smoke everyone out.
Oh, yeah. Blame Putin.